friend came to me and said that he was going to be doing some woodworking, and he went out and bought this. It's a bit useless, to be honest. He asked me to have a look at it, sharpen it up, true it up, and set it up for him. I've recently come into collection of quite a few planes, and I said I'll give it a go. Had a look, and it is simply not fit for purpose. He only paid £15 of it at his local woodshop, and you can tell really the quality of it. Although the sole is pretty decent, I've checked the flatness and it's not too bad. It could go over, but for the likeliness of what he's going to be doing woodworking wise, it fits the purpose. The blade and the chipper I did adjust, but it was set back quite far. That needs to be right up to the tip of the cutter there. I will take closer shots, but there are lots of gaps, and there shouldn't be any gaps in the chipper to the blade. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to flatten the chipper so it sits perfectly onto the blade, and also sharpen up the blade as well. As you can run a keen eye down there, you can see flathead. It's not sharp at all, and that's what's come out of the factory. It's not very good. So I'm going to be using my brand new tool. I've used it a few times just to check it out. It's the Scheppach Tiger 2000S. I did email Scheppach to say that I will be doing a review on this, and what perfect way can I show a review on a dull blade. So let's get going. Okay. First, what we need to do is find the angle of the blade. So, the blade. So I'm going to remove the screw that's holding on the chipper to the blade. Take that apart. Okay. Now what we need to do, you can have a look there. Totally blunt. I can run my finger along that. No problem at all. There's no edge there at all. Okay. So what we need to do, in that comes providing the Scheppach Tiger 2000S, is this little jig here. It gives you the ability to find the cutting edge angle. So all we need to do is pop it into there. Okay, that's not going to fit, as you can see there. So we'll try, that's 25. What we'll try next is 20, and as you can see, hopefully that fits in there perfectly. So I know that the cutting edge of this blade is at 20 degrees. Okay, so with that information, we'll set up the machine. Setting them now, what we need to do is put the bar in first. This comes in like that. Now this is the jig that's going to be holding the blade. When that's roughly secured in, blade facing downwards, as you can see, we slide it onto the bar. Okay, and now we can move it about freely using the adjuster knob on the bar as well, just to get it lower. What we'll do now, just secure this down. Okay, I know roughly where it is now. I'm using the 20 degree, butt it up. Now using the adjuster here, I can see there's still a little bit of light behind there. You do need to hold both sides down, I've found. Just lowering the degrees. Okay, that's perfect. Right, so now I know that that blade is going to be cutting at a nice 20 degrees when it's rolling over the blade like so. I have now fitted the reservoir that comes with the machine. Need to fill this up. What I like to do is, once it's filled up adequately, get it turning. What this will do, it will take quite a bit of water out of the reservoir. Okay, stop that now, and we can just top it up, because it will soak very quickly into the stone. Start cutting. what we need to do is we need to apply firm pressure, but not too much, to the blade, keeping it on the stone at all times, running from left to right. At regular intervals, what we'll do is we'll just check the blade. As you can see there, hopefully, blade is cutting now, it's putting an edge on it, but you can see how much it was out. You can see the new polished steel underneath, and the rest still a long way to go. Once again, we'll stop it, we'll have a quick look. Okay, that's a lot better. Almost reaching both sides now, it's reached this side over here. Okay, and we just need to make sure that's completely flat. Okay. Bit more now. Okay, that's all I'm going to do with this blade in terms of sharpening it with the stone. I don't think it's going to be much use going any further. What happens when you're going to be sharpening in this direction, you're going to be getting some tear out of the back, and this is burring, and if I run my finger along there, you can feel it. There's like a ridge on the back. You get that with any type of sharpening, it's not just on this type of machine. The best thing to do for that is using this side of the machine. If I just move it along. Now this is a leather honing wheel. When you first get it, they do advise to use a light machining oil, and I've read up on a couple of reviews, and a lot of people are saying to use oil, cooking oil, vegetable oil. So that's what I did. You just run it around and smoothing it down with your finger, and then when you do that, you can use some of this. It's a paste that you apply to the honing wheel, and that's just a very fine grit, so that basically will just sharpen your blades to a razor sharpness. Okay, so with this one, you don't do it this way because you will cut the leather. What we need to do is turn it round and go with the rotation. Okay, so now is turning the camera around just so you can see what I'm going to be doing. Now I've only used this recently, so I'm not going to apply any more paste. Okay, so we'll turn the machine on and apply the blade. Turn, taking those burrs off now. Okay, now there is one blade, and it's sharpened a lot more than what it was. Okay, so now newly sharpened. What I like to do, just to test it, is get a bit of paper and just see how it cuts. Now if it's cutting like that, that is pretty goddamn sharp. Not putting any effort into that. It's cutting extremely nicely. It's not ripping, it's not tearing. So I can say that that is an absolute success. Okay, all I've done is I've got a piece of my sanding paper from one of my sanders, and I've double-sided taped it to the workbench. What I'm going to be doing, because of the chip breaker sits nice and flush on the back here, I'm just going to apply some pressure to the back and just start rubbing the front of the sandpaper. As you can see, that's taken out all the wobble there. That's fitting a lot nicer now. But I can still on the edge. I can sort of just about get my fingernail under there, and that's exactly what we do not want. I'm very happy. I have used a bit of 60 gritters there as well. Just there was a high point, I believe, and I've just taken that right down. So as you can see now, that chip breaker is able to sit, and there's absolutely no wobble there at all. Okay, I just had to do quick adjustments off of camera. I'll just show you what I did. Due to the nature of this plane, it's not very good, it's very cheap. I've had to do some adjustments, and going what I said earlier, you do need to try and keep the chip breaker quite close to the end of the blade. This just helps the curling of the wood, just to make sure it doesn't get jammed. Because it's so cheap, the screw that they've placed in the blade and the chip breaker is actually catching in the frog and just trying to hit that screw, just so we can't go any further. So what I've had to do is bring it back probably about 8mm from the front of the blade there, tightened it down, placed it back in to the plane onto the frog, and locked it all down. Okay, I'll just have another visual quick check. I did equal this out, but now it's gone out of shape again. So we'll just use the adjustment bar here at the back just to adjust that slightly. Okay, that looks a lot better. Okay, I've fixed a piece of pine now to the works top with a clamp. I'm just going to see how that. Okay, as you can see, very nice thin cuts there. Do some more. Okay, that seems to be taking off more one side than the other, so we'll just have another quick look. We'll just adjust this again. Okay, that's very high, so I'll just lower that a bit. Okay, we're getting some nice strips now. So nice and thin. Keep going. See how. That's what I like to see. A very nice, thin, paper-like strip. Okay, my technique to sharpen a blade, and in my view, if you're getting shavings like this, you've done a really good job. So yeah, turning an absolute rubbish £15 plane into a very usable one.